So basically the first 50 seconds of this episode start with the final scenes we saw in the last episode. The previous episode 6 covers everything except the last 2 pages of chapter 83. So episode 7 begins with the scene on the last 2 pages. Also, the title of episode 7 is the same title that manga had in chapter 83. Here in the manga, we see Nezuko's leg pierced like a weapon on the back of the Daki. But in anime, we got a long shot with the damage caused by their fight. Then we officially starts episode 7 from page 18 of chapter 83. However, the subtitles in the anime have changed slightly compared to the translation in the manga. But I don't think there is much difference between the two. Also in anime, you can see Nezuko cutting off that Daki's hand. This is anime exclusive scene. This scene is not in manga. Anime really well showed that Nezuko has lost her control. The scene then shifted to where Tanjiro is. Also in this scene the anime has added many exclusive cuts. When Tanjiro's dead brother tries to wake him up, we can see snow falling in a dark atmosphere. The reason they used this dark environment is because this scene in the manga was drawn on a black background. I think this is the reason. Again, his brother will try to wake up by saying his name almost twice. But in the manga it is only a line. In this place he cries. But in the manga he would not cry in this scene. I really loved this details. Because anime really has more impact compared to manga. The whole chapter 83 ends when Tanjiro wakes up. But we did not immediately begin chapter 84. We get the original anime content, where we can see Nezuko frantically destroying Daki. Chapter 84 officially begins when Daki finally attacks Nezuko by using her obi. Next we see Daki moving away from Nezuko very fast. However, the anime show the most brutal scenes compared to the manga again. When Daki attacked Nezuko using her obi, we can see her being torn apart by that attack. It shows the anime from many angles. When Nezuko uses her blood demon art on Daki, Daki thinks of her past or something in that 10 seconds. I don't know what the scene is. Because I have not finished the Demon Slayer completely. But also this scene is not featured in the manga. So I think this may be the anime original cut related to the story. Then the fight scene with Sakuga cut starts again. You can tell how intense this fight was by the way Nezuko fought against Daki. She almost puts Daki's face on the ground and kicked her head 4 times. In the manga, Nezuko kicks Daki inside the building near her. You can see clearly here. Anime have extended this fight scene. We can also see Daki's wounded face from Nezuko's attack. Next Nezuko sees the blood of the injured woman in that damaged building. And she goes fast to attack that injured woman. At the same time, in the anime, you can see her trying to control herself. This is a really good detail. But she is finally trying to attack the injured woman just like in the manga. Without Tanjiro suddenly coming from somewhere and saving Nezuko. We can see the direction he is coming in anime. Because in the manga he comes from somewhere. Anyway, Tanjiro uses his sword just like he was in the manga to control her. Here in the manga, he shouts fight the hunger. But in anime this dialogue is removed. He says you have to tough it out. We can see the part where Nezuko scratches Tanjiro with her sharp nails without restraint. Once again, you can see the difference between the translation in the manga and the subtitles in the anime. In anime, he says I won't let anyone hurt you anymore. But in the manga, he will say that your big brother is here to protect you. I don't know why this change. Both dialogue have strong emotions. Nezuko jumps through the ceiling with Tanjiro on her back. But still he is having a hard time controlling her. We can see Daki smashing the doors there with her obi. It's a little interesting. Because in the manga it doesn't show this much intense. Daki appears in front of Tanjiro with burns on her face. This scene was just as good as the in the manga. You can see the picture here. When Daki tries to attack both of them, Tanjiro would have been confused as to what to do. In the manga, we see Tengen suddenly appearing in front of Tanjiro's face. But in anime, we can see where he comes from in the anime original cuts. However, the conversation between Tengen and Tanjiro and Daki was the same as in the manga. Chapter 84 ends with the Daki's beheading. Then Chapter 85 was not adapted immediately after the commercial advertisement. We get anime-exclusive content where both Inosuke and Zainsu are separated from Tengen. Then Zainsu notices the sound of an explosion coming from the building. And they both run towards that direction. It's only after this scene that we officially begin Chapter 85. From the scene where Tengen arrives and starts talking to Tanjiro to the scene where Nezuko and Tanjiro both jump out of the building out of the window. The anime makes no change. It was all just like it was in the manga. The anime extends the scene where Tanjiro actually struggles to control Nezuko. The scenes that follow are the same as in the manga. The scene where Tanjiro suddenly remembers what Tengen told him to sing a lullaby for her. Nezuko heard that lullaby and the scene where she is in her mother's lap. After that until the scene where Nezuko comes to her senses and changes to her normal state, everything is adapted as it is in the manga. Also, there is no change in the conversation between Tengen and Daki. If we try to find any differences, it's only the difference between translation and subtitles. Here I show you those pictures. The scene where a male demon emerges from Daki's body has some anime original cuts. In the manga you can see him emerging directly from her body. And compared to the manga, in the anime Tengen will immediately try to cut its neck as fast as the new demon comes out. Tengen goes too fast again to cut the demon's neck. We see it from a different camera angle in the anime. But when that male demon hits Tengen with the intention of killing him, he successfully stops it. However, Tengen gets a head injury in that attack. And Chapter 85 officially ends here. Then Chapter 86 officially begins. But on the first page of Chapter 86, there is a small flashback of that male demon. The anime has removed it completely. I hope there will be a chance to show it in the next episode. The demon appreciates the appearance of Tengen, and the story starts from the second page. Envious of Tengen, that male demon scratches the skin on his face. This is almost a whole page in manga. But in anime we can see this in close-up shot. Not gonna lie, it's really gross to watch. And in the manga, the Daki calls the demon by his name. But in the anime she calls him brother. Daki tells the demon everything that happened and tells him to kill everyone. Finally, the fight between Tengen and GYUTARO starts again. That demon throws his weapon sickles in the direction of the Tengen. This causes further damage to the building where they are. Tanjiro sees the sickles flying in the sky. Finally, Inosuke and Zainsu both arrive at the scene. Tanjiro's face looks relieved to hear Inosuke's voice. It's not in the manga. He's still in the panic. Here we can see some anime original cuts. Although not much, it's noticeable. The scenes after that were just like the copy-paste in the manga. I appreciate their hard work and trying to bring it into the anime just like they were in the manga. Tengen protects the people in the damaged building. Tengen says he has 3 wives. And we can see GYUTARO's anger here. Here I would suggest a dialogue in the manga. Because you can feel that frustration when you hear the word Tengen said. At the same time, we can see how GYUTARO's weapon works. I really like this detail. We can't see his blood covering that weapon. Then we get some Sakuga cuts. It shows how he uses that attack. Then Tengen escapes from there using some bombs. Which are all anime exclusive contents. All these scenes are not in manga. It's amazing how well they handled this scene. Then the scene where Tengen fights with the flying blood stickles of that demon also has Sakuga cuts. Finally, Tengen begins to think whether the male demon should be the main body. When he hears that everyone in the building has escaped, we can see a whole building. But in the manga they only showed the first floor. The final scenes of the episode contain so many anime exclusive content. Tengen throwing a bomb at a male demon on the first floor. At that point, we can see the anime original cuts. Then finally, episode 7 ends with a scene from the last page of chapter 86.